Hello, family and friends. It's Kanoi. Thank you for joining this journal with me. Junk Journal July. I believe we're on day 7. I have honestly fallen far behind. I got stuck on this prompt right here, which is bouquet, and I ended up seeing a bunch of people's different journal entries, and even more so it made me get stuck because they were so darn cute, and I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. So I talked myself off the ledge and told myself, stop overthinking it, just do it. And so I found this napkin in my stash and I thought, well, that is perfect right there. It's a bouquet. I am just going to decoupage and go from there because I have been telling myself that I no longer want to add too much bulk to this journal because it is bursting at the seams. So I thought this might be a way to add an element without creating any more bulk. So I'm just gluing it down with some of my faux vintage Mod Podge, which I created with some Distress Stain, and just put it into my Mod Podge and stirred it around. And so when it's on white paper, it actually looks really cool. It gives it kind of this vintage effect. Here I'm taking an old Planner Society doily, and I saw somebody else do this. I forget who it was, but they basically created a ephemera bouquet with a doily. It was so darn cute. And I didn't like the way this was looking, so I took some of my metallic acrylic paint, several shades of greens, just to kind of get a layered effect, and I am just slopping it on there. I'm not worried about it looking too amazing, but I wanted to kind of blend in that napkin so that it's not standing out so much. And I think it worked for the effect that we were trying to create. And then I just took my Tombow Fudenosuke, I can't ever say that, Fudenosuke pen and hand lettered bouquet on there. And I thought it was just looking a little too empty. So I went into my stash of florals and I was trying to find just a couple of pieces to bring out of that bottom bouquet piece, the holder. And that one was just way too big and way too out there. So I thought, oh, these kind of work. And even though this color palette is not matching, I'm okay with it. I love eclectic. I love kind of craziness. I always say I have a circus in my brain, so I don't mind when things aren't matchy-matchy or they don't look like they tie together. It's totally fine with me. I knew I wanted to add some sort of label or something to be able to at least write my feelings about this journal entry. So I found this cute little, I guess, label is what you would call it. And I just stapled it onto that page. And then here is my symmetry entry. I actually forgot. No, I thought I pressed record. I didn't press record, so I didn't get the process video of this entry, but it's okay because it's not my favorite. I just did the paint smushing. I did some stamping. I used a doily. I did a little bit of blending with a stencil and then a butterfly stamp, and basically just used it as a journaling canvas. So I ended up journaling that day on some of the things that we did on that symmetry page, and it's not super cute, not really aesthetic to look at. So I'm fine with the fact that I did not press record. So here I'm just creating a label. I like to create labels and tabs for all of my entries, and then just doing a little bit of journaling about how much I dislike this. I'm just kidding. But I love that, again, about junk journaling is that nothing has to be perfect. Everything is acceptable. Anything goes. And I just wrote down some of the elements that I used and decided to call it a day. I was going to work on, actually, no, I take that back. I did work on one more. So we are now going on to day 8, wallpaper. This one I actually put in a large piece of wallpaper as a page, and I tore out the back side of it because it was rolling and it was pushing my pages up. So that allowed me to be able to pull the front end of it out really easily. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it though, so I started to kind of just tear it out. It has this cute little angel on it, and I knew I wanted to use that piece for sure. And then I was thinking, how can I incorporate the rest of this on there, but it just wasn't working. No matter which way I turned it, it just didn't quite fit. I tried to cut a piece to make a belly band, but again, it was too short. And so essentially, I ended up basically just ditching this piece of wallpaper because it just was not happening for me. And then I thought, well, maybe I can stick this angel on another page or find another spot where it might fit better. And then again, it just didn't happen. So I went into my stash of vintage French wallpaper scraps that I bought off of Etsy. And I figured I might be able to find something that worked a little better with this angel. And everything is so muted. I don't know. I obviously have not used too many of these. I do plan to start using them a little bit more, but it just was so hard to find something to match. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this down for a little bit, and I'm just going to fussy cut this angel so that it looks a little bit better. Maybe that will help it to stand out a little bit better on whatever piece of wallpaper I end up putting it on. So essentially, I guess I could include this in the fussy cutting prompt because I haven't done that one yet, but I won't. I have an idea of some things that I'm going to use. So I did find a piece. I knew I wanted to create a belly band, so that's what I did. And I used the angel to kind of secure the edge because it was a little short. So that worked out really well. I feel like the angel is now standing out a little bit better. And then it was, okay, well, what are we going to put behind the belly band? So now I'm looking through my wallpaper printables and digitals, and nothing is really working. It just isn't matching. So I found a very similar piece and just decided, you know what, I'm just going to fold it in half. I'm going to put a couple of labels on there. I just, I was getting stuck and overthinking. It was getting late. I was tired, and I knew I just needed to do something and stop, holding myself back because it's not up to the standards, or it compared to other people's work, it isn't that beautiful spread. But it doesn't need to be that way. I don't know why I put that pressure on myself. So that was that. I was looking to see if we could do another prompt. And as I was flipping through it, I think the next one was the patterns. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I got really tired, and I told myself, we will come back to this. So that's the end of that. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I'll have more process videos of Junk Journal July and more fun crafty stuff. Aloha.